Hey everyone, this is Wei and welcome back. Let's do a quick drawing of Iron Man. So let's get started and I'll talk about the process along the way. Alright, so let's draw this Iron Man, and this one's from the side view. So I'm just gonna rough in his head shape. Kind of just draw this quick mass of his from the side view, which is kind of cool. Alright, let me see. There's a lot of little details, so I'm just gonna try to rough in the big stuff first, obviously. Let's see, there's an arc here. Let's see his eyes. From his ear, I'm just kind of measuring. It's kind of go somewhere like this, somewhere around here. Okay, and then let's keep going. And the beginning is always, it's generally tough, especially with this. This is almost very, it's like a diagram almost, right? It's just a lot of lines, and so you kind of have get some of it correct. I mean, not too crazy. I mean, okay, there's an arc here. Comes down. Let's see. Comes down here. I'm kind of measuring everything from his ear right here. Comes over here. This is not a. Let's see. Probably comes down here. And then his mouth. Down here, let's see, and then there's another line here. The smaller lines I can, like this inner lines, you can almost skip for now. The only reason I did is because it does offer more reference points. So I just go ahead and put it in. So let's come down here, the chin. Looks like a little too wide. Okay, let's go up. Eyes. See, there's a line here, and then there's this arc here. This arc goes all the way up and comes back down here. Looks like there's something else going on here. And again, this is not necessarily an easy thing to draw. It's just, these lines are very dynamic and just basically a bunch of little arcs. So okay, let's see. He's hearing some weird sound. It looks like some kind of weird jet just flew over. Alright, so let's keep going. Here, his mouth coming down. Let's see, how's that looking? Alright, not too bad. I mean, not super accurate, let me see, but I think enough for me to go on. Because I think the shading part is cool. I mean, it's kind of armor. Okay, his neck coming down here. Alright, let's go back to the head because I think that's where all the action is. Okay, let me see, it looks like his eye is definitely too small. Making that a little bit bigger. Alright, let's go start shading, and let's just start with the eyes. Okay, I'm using a 6B, so it's very, very dark, very soft. Might not be the best thing to use for this kind of drawing because it's very schematic. But it's okay, I think. I'll be able to shade a little bit faster. So the main arc I'm seeing is this thing right here. This shading area is actually very interesting. This little arc here. It's a cool shape. Okay, and then this part is dark, so I can actually cut that in. Well, let's just make it dark. I was gonna be a little bit more careful, but looks like it's correct. So let's not be too timid. I hate being too timid, and it kind of ruins the drawing. Alright, let's see. Shading here, coming down. So let's yeah, this part's cool. So if we shade it correctly, you know, we should be able to get some kind of cool, you know, metal effect. Okay, so here, lots of little subtle shading. Let me see, there's a highlight here, so I'm just gonna try to leave it. A little bit of shading here. And again, I'm just kind of looking at patches, kind of almost forget what you're seeing. It's a little bit dark edge right here. This edge going up is darker on this side, right? On this side of the plane, not on this side. But then on this side is darker. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of play on, because it's different planes, you're gonna get this. And if you kind of shade it correctly, then you're gonna, those are the little things that's gonna make it more realistic. Okay, there's a little shape here. We have to do his chin. And this is kind of important because, I mean, it's a different material, so the red's gonna be darker, should be a little bit darker than this gold, right? This yellow. So here's the shading, and then when it's red, it should go a little bit darker. I know it's pretty subtle, but if I do more of the chin, well, let's do more of the chin. I was gonna go back up, but let's just go for it. Let's see. Okay, the chin here. All right, this is dark. And then this goes all the way in. This is dark. It's a little bit bounce lighting on the bottom. All right, so let's see the highlight. Okay, this plane is really dark. Let me go in again. And then this is a little bit lighter, but it needs to be darker than this area right here. So I'm gonna shade the yellow a little bit. And then on the red, I'll shade this a little bit darker. Okay, so you kind of need that in order to show, you know, that this is two different material, or else it's gonna get lost. Okay, and then let's see, there's some more. How's that looking? Okay, there's a line here. Let's see, I probably don't even, yeah, it's not that important, but all right. Now here's a little, looks like some kind of screw head. So we shade this, part gets dark. Looks like there's a highlight right around here. We can almost kind of outline it a little bit. And then right here is darker. This is darker. There's a little bit of lip here. You can leave the paper. I'm trying to leave it. If not, I've got to erase it out. All right, so this part's dark. There's a little bit of highlight right there because I'm trying to keep it. Okay, so my pencil right now is actually getting really dull. I should probably sharpen it, but I don't want to do it right now because if I do it right now, it'll give my strokes will be a little bit sharper and it might kind of give it an inconsistent look from what you're seeing right now. I can do that, you know, when I put in details and stuff. So this is darker. This is very dark underneath. Okay, so when we know it's really dark, we can just go ahead and shade it harder. You know, again, don't be too timid. This like behind the ear is darker than the jawline right here, so that's why it needs to be darker. Okay. So it's slowly getting there. Let's see. Now this line here, don't draw a continuous line because it isn't. You know, there's a little bit of variation in there. That's why I didn't go like this straight down. And if you did, you're gonna end up making that area look very flat. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to this part. Let's start shading in here. Now the eye needs to be a little bit darker now that I looked at it. Okay, on top of the eye, this is darker. And then there's some stuff going on here, which is a little bit hard to see from this angle. But it looks like there's some dark area there. And then gotta shade the mask right here. Okay. So you see this kind of shading, you see where I'm overlapping, you get these little, obviously a little bit darker area. I mean, I can, go in and just kind of smooth it out a little bit. So I know I'm not doing, well, cross-hatching as much, but I can. I could go back in and cross-hatch and clean up those areas. All right, so this is slightly darker. Actually, this whole thing needs to be slightly darker in order to get this little highlight on the rim right here on this edge right here, because that area is white. So actually this needs to be a little bit darker just to emphasize it. So if I go like this and this, that should give me that, just by darkening this area right now you get more of the edge right there. So that's how you can emphasize this kind of edge. I mean, it doesn't, it's not super realistic, but it gives you a sense of it, right? And then let's go back to, let's do the line here, because we know this is going to be darker because this is red. Okay, this thing comes over this way. Okay, let's do the ear. Circles, yeah, a little bit painful, It's, but again, always do this kind of strokes when you're doing circles. It's very basic stuff. Things that you will learn in beginning drawing class when you learn to draw circles. So once you do this, then you can go in and do smaller strokes in order to get a harder line on that circle, because it would be difficult to try to go like this, and get a dark line. So you do have to go in kind of manually, just look at it, and smaller strokes, a little bit more control. So like this is dark here, and we have to do this dark because there's a little highlight there on the back, right? There's a little bit of rim lighting going on. Okay, and then this part, the top part, is darker, obviously, because it's casting a shadow in the grooves. Then here, yeah, there's more stuff going on here. I might not do that now because my pencil is so blunt right now. All right, let's go. Let's do this little thing in here. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit darker. It probably should be even more dark because it is red. But again, I don't need to make this part too dark because I need to make this edge right here darker than because I can make the separation between the gold and the red. So once I have that, this area doesn't need to be that much darker. All right, so let's shade in this area. This is gonna be dark. So this kind of stuff, really long strokes. Okay, there's some detail here I might skip because broad areas are generally, it just takes more time to shade. It's not any harder. So I might not do as much of this right now, because I kind of want to show you the process, but at the same time, I don't have to show you everything, because if I just do one area, it kind of applies to everything else. Okay, so this is darker. Okay, so this is dark. Okay, so how's that looking? All right, so let me sharpen my pencil real quick. A nice little scraping sound. All right, so now it's sharper. Now I can go in and fine-tune little things. So let's do this. So now I can draw in those little lines like here. here. And yeah, there's a lot of little stuff. It's just a matter of, you know, how much time you want to spend on this. Like there's all these little edge highlights, and those you can go in with an electric eraser and erase it however you want. So now my edge is a lot sharper, so I can actually go in and shade a little bit cleaner. A little bit of detail there, and going back to this edge, which is a really cool area. So this part is actually, I think I might have made it a little bit too dark, because it's making the red area look a little bit light in comparison, right? All right. Let's just keep going up. I'll shade it a little bit cleaner. Hopefully you can see. All right, dark, dark. So let's make it a little bit darker so I can just give it a little bit more contrast. So like here is now, it's kind of like my second pass, second or third pass on this area. Darker here underneath. Very important edge to get dark. Then there's a little highlight there, so I need to make that a little bit sharper. So this part is darker because it's red. This part's darker. All right, so I mean, you can see it. You can see it's coming along. It's just a matter of, you know, it's more and more shading. And I might need to go in, you know, with probably with a 4B and stuff, just to fill in some of the gaps to smooth things out a little bit. So that's just kind of, you know, more a little bit more shading work. Nothing special. All right. So I'm actually pretty careful with this, which I'm not too crazy about. I was hoping to be a little bit more loose on this, but I guess because this armor is very, you know, it's like very clean. So sometimes you can't be too rough. Alright, so here's my final drawing for this Iron Man, and I just kind of pushed it more, you know, a lot more little subtle shading, and I sharpened up a 4B and really kind of go in and hit those little areas, and it gives me a little bit more control, but overall it's kind of the same process of what I've shown you on camera. So I mean, I'm gonna stop here because there's no end to this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't want to go too crazy, because there's a lot of little things and a lot of smooth surfaces. You can make it realistic, but it takes a lot of time. So I'm gonna stop here, and hope you guys like this drawing. Give it a shot, and I will see you next time.